Good morning. It has been a hot minute since I have made a video. So, just gonna bring you along while I plan some gardening stuff. So, every time I go to the store and I see seeds, I have to get some. So, my latest seed collection consists of Baby's Breath. We have sorrel, very good stuff for you. Some arugula. And then I got some heirloom beets. Trying to get off some of my blood pressure medicine. Always do your research before you try and get off your blood pressure medicine. Or any kind of medicine, in fact. But I like beets anyways. So, double whammy if they work. Okay. And then I have been looking everywhere for these. I have been to Lowe's, I have been to Atwoods, Walmart, Dollar Tree, Dollar General. Like, nobody has them. So I had to order these off of Amazon. They are the sweet snacking peppers. I like to cut these in half, clean them out, stuff some whipped cream cheese in there, and sprinkle it with some dill. My mouth's watering already. So we're going to make a list of what needs to be done this week. And we're going to do our hardest to do it. We just had another freeze the past 2 nights. Temperatures were in the 20s. So I couldn't plant anything outside. My zucchini and loofah are going nuts and they really need put outside. But now that it's warming up again, we're going to be getting ready to transfer those outside. So I'm trying to harden those off. Yesterday's high was 47, I believe. Today's high is supposed to be 64. And this is Tuesday. On Saturday, the high is supposed to be 96. And then it's a couple days later, it's going to go back down into the 60s for highs. I think my garlic died. I planted some garlic back in early winter. And because the weather has been doing this, I think it killed off my garlic. So, okay. Let's get into it. Let's plan what we need to get done this week. Okay. Also, I planted some Walla Walla onion seeds. They are struggling. They are so finicky. So, I am just going to stick to some onion sets. The only bad part is there is 100 in here. We don't go through that much onion. But I'm going to make onion powder. So, that's another set of my seeds that I got. Okay. So, I've been doing a lot of research about companion plantings and just trying to optimize my space. And I have a couple rose bushes in the front yard. And around them is just bare space that like weeds grow, and it's just bare soil, and it's not good. So I did some research. I can plant onion sets and beets around them. They do not disturb the roots. And all three, the onions, the beets, and the roses, basically use the same fertilizer. So, why not? So what we're going to do is I need to get out there, clean up the flower beds. I'm probably going to mix some amendments in it along with the fertilizer that I got for rose bushes, because they are good for the onions and beets. And then we're going to get those planted. So I have 2 rose bushes. Those are going to go around. So once I get all the area prepped for, the roses, and gets, the onions, the beets, and get everything settled and ready, you put the onions in the first circle, because I have circle beds. I'm going to put the onions probably about 8 to 10 inches away from the stem of the roses, the roots of the roses, the main stem of the rose. There we go. And a couple inches apart. So they're going to, here's the rose bush, then the onions are going to go around it. Then the beets are going to go on the outer circle. So we have the rose bush, we'll have the ring of onions, and then we'll have a ring of beets around that. Then I'm going to mulch with leaves. I don't want to get the bagged mulch because honestly, you don't know what they put in there. And I don't feel like paying the price for the natural stuff. So I have been collecting bags of leaves all winter long that I'm going to mulch everything with. So let's put that out. So next, after I get that done, I have 2 blueberry bushes. Now the first one I got, I had a feeling wasn't very good because I got it on clearance. I did everything that I knew to try and bring that thing back to life. It is 3 years old. It has never produced, and it's to the point where it doesn't even grow leaves. So I'm going to be pulling that up, unfortunately. But I do have another one. It is a Biloxi blueberry that I'm going to basically plant in the same spot, because the blueberry bush that I got last year, don't remember what kind that is. That's already got blooms. Well, maybe not now that it froze, but we'll check on that. And it's already produced. Last year it produced blueberries, and this year it has already done pretty good with the leaf growth and the flowering. I did mulch those with hay over the winter, but to be honest, I completely forgot to do it for this last freeze. So I hope I didn't mess up there. But we have a Biloxi over there that I'm going to plant. I'm going to get that little area cleaned up, and we'll see how that goes this year. Really hoping that those 2 will start producing really good blueberries, because I am a blueberry fanatic, and so is my grandson. So that is going to be put on the list to get done this week. Okay, next item on the agenda, we're going to really focus on hardening these plants. I've got to get them outside, especially my broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. They are just leggy in here, but I really need to get them hardened so I can get them in the ground. So we will be doing that this week too. Next, I need to get these going. Now, because I couldn't find these seeds anywhere in my local area, I went ahead and saved some from one of the peppers that I had gotten from the grocery store. The only problem was it was an organic pepper. They're coming up, but I don't know that I would trust them enough to produce, because those kinds of vegetables are usually sprayed with something so they don't sprout, which can seep into the seeds and no plant. So I think we're just going to redo them, plant these peppers, and see how these do. And I think I can grow these in containers, which would be really good, because then I can, if the weather's going to be bad, because we live in Oklahoma, if the weather's going to be bad, I can move them. So that's what we're going to be doing there. Also, the arugula, this needs to be planted here pretty soon. Yes. So these I'm going to have to get started. We will do that. And the sorrel. Yes. The sorrel, April to May. Now the sorrel will come back every year. It is a perennial. So, and I've heard that it can take over an area. So I'm going to get a couple of pots, probably the long, narrow ones, and just grow this in there. I might try and find a couple of bigger pots instead of the long ones. That way it has more room to branch out. So, gotta look into that. And then, of course, we've got the baby's breath. It's just a really pretty flower. And of all the other flowers I'm going to be growing out there, if I want a filler or to make a bouquet, some baby's breath, and the pollinators love it. So, it's going to look really pretty. And this, if you plant it outdoors, it needs to be planted no later than April 15th, which our last frost date for zone 7A in Oklahoma is April 17th. So I'll probably wait, but I might plant these indoors so I can get an earlier start on them. And we covered the beets. I ordered some seeds online last year, I believe it was. I don't remember what they were, but I was gifted these sunflowers. And I want to have sunflowers all over the backyard because that's where the garden is going to be, and they attract beneficial bugs like ladybugs and caterpillars, the good caterpillars. butterflies, and I've already planted some mini dwarf. Can't remember the name of them, but they're a mini dwarf sunflowers, but these will get about 4 to 5 feet tall. So I want to get these planted. And creeping thyme. This is a perennial. It will come back every year. A lot of people use it as a ground cover. And I think it's got some medicinal properties to it too. I can't remember. We'll have to look that up. But I have gladiola bulbs planted in my long flower bed up front. But last year, it was just overrun with weeds. Horribly overrun with weeds. I was literally out there every week trying to pull this grass and weeds out of my gladiola bed. So this year, I'm planting some creeping thyme. Now each plant will get about 12 inches wide. So, hold on a second. Each plant will get about 12 inches wide. So I am going to plant these about 6 inches from the base of each of my gladiola bulbs, because they will sprout out, and they are amazing at ground cover and smothering out weeds. So I'm gonna have my gladiolas, and I'm gonna have my creeping thyme that's going to be the cover. It will help keep the ground moist and the weeds down. And both of them are, the gladiolas and the creeping thyme are perennials. So basically, that's going to be such an easy flower bed every year. I'm hoping. I think it's after year 2 that they'll really branch out. Only thing is, around the base of the gladiolas, I'll have to go and like prune around there so it doesn't overtake them, and the water can get to the gladiola bulbs. Because the gladiolas are about 2 inches deep, the creeping thyme roots are very shallow, so they're not going to bother the gladiola bulbs. So I'm very excited about that. So this year I really, excuse me, really want to focus on my compost bin. I have three different ways to compost. I have the big one. It's basically 2 pallets wide and 1 pallet deep. Like, big pieces go in there, or if I get gifted bulk items and they go bad before I can, it's just bulk items. Then I have a spinning compost turner, which I really like. And then I have an electric compost mill. I don't really use that a whole lot, but I think I'm going to start. I want to possibly use the food mill for a quick breakdown, and then add that to my compost spinner. We'll see. I still have a lot of research to do in that area. Last year, I did invest in a compost thermometer. So I'm going to focus on that, because soil is so expensive. And if I can just create enough compost, then that's going to help with my soil, the micronutrients in the soil, building my soil up. It's going to save a lot of time and money. So that, and it keeps it out of landfill, which I am all about. So, and then I have, once I harden off my plants, then we're going to get them planted. So I think I'm going to try and get out, because the weather's supposed to be nice this week, and after I finish these, I'm going to try and get out and work in the garden and start prepping the ground for flowers, getting my area cleaned up for my butterfly and pollinator sanctuary. I'm so excited about that. And just start marking things out of where everything's going to be. So I'm excited about that. Alright, so I got our list of things that need to be done this week. I'm going to do my very best at getting everything done. I do have some appointments, and there's the normal housekeep. And I have a bad back, of course. But I'm going to do my best at getting everything done. And if I don't get everything done, you know what? I have the week after to do it. So, stick with me. Come along, and we will walk through getting all of this done, and can't wait to see the end result. So, I will see you in the next video when we start to get everything started.